Just when things were beginning to pick up for Alpine, things have taken a bit of a turn to the south if you believe reports. Apparently Renault are looking at axing their engine project for Alpine due to needing to save costs. Let's have a look at this story, because this would be a huge one if it was true, and it has been rumoured for some time now. According to reports, Renault is now all but confirming that it is going to close its Formula One engine program altogether. As is now emerging from France, Alpine speculated a sensational move from works Renault power units to a customer supply of Mercedes engines could actually take place as early as the start of the 2025 season. And there's another rumour going around that potentially they could partner with Cadillac, who are looking to enter Formula One as well. But that's a different rumour for another video I will do. An extraordinary meeting was held on Tuesday to present a project to transform the Viry site without any jobs cuts. So apparently they must be pivoting away from engine manufacturing, because we know what the French are like, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm not insulting them. It's a good thing. Stand up for the rights. They don't take any of this. If this happens, they strike. So their jobs have to be protected, which is great, of course. But that obviously means that something's happening. This proposal plans to use the resources from the F1 engine program for specific projects, just as the development as the hydrogen or high power electric engines that the brand needs to grow. So looking into hydrogen, looking into electric. And it makes sense because Renault have always said that, you know, they're not going to stick around in F1 if the technology is not applicable to road cars. And right now, you know, regular petrol powered and diesel powered cars are being all phased out. So it's not that relevant really. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with this one. The source clarified as well, there's no decision yet, but it could happen in the coming weeks. L'Equipe correspondent Eric Belderman believes that the initial move away from Renault engines for Alpine occurred under the impetus of Flavio Briatore, because of course Flavio is back as like an executive at Renault. So I mean, it makes sense in a sense. If your engine's not producing, because they have no customer teams, Renault, nobody wants their power units, so they're not really making any money. They're only supplying themselves. If they were supplying some other teams, then perhaps it could be profitable for them, but just supplying the Alpine team and nobody else seems to be not profitable. And I can understand it. I can absolutely understand it. You know, in a cost cap era is what's going to save them some money too. So I don't think Flavio's done a bad thing here really. It's just trying to save face though. Can you imagine an Alpine Mercedes on the grid? It's something that we speculated about a lot. Or an Alpine Cadillac. Not so sure about that, to be honest, but we'll have to see what happens. So Alpine could become a customer Mercedes powered team for the start of the new regulations in 2026, or even as early as 2025, provided that the unit can be effectively installed on the chassis and not designed for it. Yeah, because that's the other thing. If they go to be a customer team, they don't have say on how the engines are designed, so it has to be something that effectively the chassis is designed around, and they don't want to do that. But I don't know how they're going to avoid that unless it's just very similar between the Mercedes and the Renault. I doubt that somehow though, I'll be honest. Obviously they're trying to sign Carlos Sainz for next year too, and I think this is very much a stumbling block, and it might mean that Carlos Sainz doesn't sign for Alpine because they won't be a factory team anymore, despite us saying many times that, you know, Alpine is realistically his only option left. But it's a fascinating one. What do you guys think? Are we going to see an Alpine Mercedes on the grid next year? Could we see it in 2026 instead? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed right here to the F1Chronicle.com for much more breaking news content just like this.